Tanya, do you want to describe what the song is about?
Okay. Because we never had like a home, that I don't know what it's like to have like that feeling of home and like this is where I grew up and this is my childhood and stuff. But the one thing that always made our houses that we lived in feel like home was the prayer that you would always pray. And that was always so consistent that no matter what house we were in, Dad would be praying for us. And like that just always, that was what home was to me. Now that I'm grown up and I have my own house, you realize that that feeling of home isn't made with the couches and the tables and the, knickknacks and things. The one thing that I can do to make this feel like home for me is going to be to pray for my kids. Yeah, and to realize like it takes being intentional and seeking God and keeping that first. That's what's going to make their childhood, because that's what made mine.
She had a desire, though, for a keyboard. I mean, you could definitely tell at that time. It started with a cardboard, then later it almost turned to a plywood thing, which was harder, and that she threw away very shortly after. Went back to the cardboard because the wood thing was too hard. But there's one particular time where it really came to life in me, understanding that her calling and anointing upon that worship. We went to a certain church where it was very small, and there was somebody, a lady at the piano. She just couldn't play. Finally, she says, "Anybody else can play?" And I asked Tanya to go up. I think she was 7, maybe 8. Mm-hmm. And to go and play, and she didn't want to, and then finally,
I only knew how to play with one finger at that point.
Yes.
Just one finger.
And so she finally went up, and as she sat on the piano, as she hit the first key, there was no rhythm yet, nothing. As she hit the key, the glory of God fell in that church, like unbelievable.
Yeah.
And that in me, I knew this is not what she does. This is something God is doing. And so I knew beyond a shadow of doubt there was an anointing on her worship.
And I didn't know what was so amazing because I only knew how to play with one finger. So I was like, well, clearly this isn't me, because there was nothing amazing. And I think that was the first moment that I realized, like, God doesn't care about your skill, but He cares about what your heart is. Because I remember just thinking, like, this was my first time, like, in front of people I didn't know, playing the piano, and then just to see God move, I was like, okay, this is bigger. This is bigger than I know. This is bigger than what I've seen so far.
In my spirit, a long time ago, I knew she was to write a song. And I kept telling her that I really felt God wanted to use her. And I said, you need to write a song. You need to really pursue that.
So every time he'd ask me, I'd be like, yeah, I know there's something, I just don't know what. And then one day it came out.
Wow.
Are you behind the scenes?
Yes, I'm behind the scenes. How do you feel?
I can do the dumb thing.
Yeah.
If somebody trips,
Megan,
yeah.
how are you feeling?
I feel good. Excited.
I think I added up how many times we moved when I was alive, and it was around 22.
Oh, yeah. 22 times.
Mm-hmm. Because Winkler, that one year, we lived in 3 different houses in 1 year. I remember Mom hosting her Tupperware parties here.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
She did Tupperware parties.
When you're 7,
Everything
everything
big.
is bigger.
Oh, I
like,
know.
I remember Mom rocking me to sleep in this corner, but I remember like thinking that wall was like miles away, and it's just over there. It's so tiny now.
Yes. Neat, huh?
This house was brand new to us.
Yes.
So everything would have been like top of
Yeah.
the line at the time.
Yeah.
This is where I remember my cot being. I remember sleeping in this
now
corner.
I remember it.
Yeah.
It was a crib type.
Yeah. For some reason, my most vivid memories are right here.
Really?
Yeah.
One of the phrases that I think you mentioned that really stuck out, really summarized what you're trying to communicate through the song is peace in the middle of chaos.
Yes. We've had our share. Chaos, yes. The devil sure didn't leave this family alone. My marriage was attacked so bad. I think that was the only thing that made me falter. I was so excited about God that almost anything could hit. Didn't bother me. When your family, when your house starts to not be your safe haven, and you look at when my marriage was attacked and my children were losing the faith in their parents, then it becomes where the devil hit in a spot where you didn't think it was possible, but you start to falter.
What do you wish 8-year-old, 7-year-old Tanya could have told Dad during these moments when you were experiencing those things?
I can only imagine.
I remember being at a place where I was so scared all the time and so mad. And I remember praying one time when things were good. I remember praying, God, just take both of them. Just so that it could be some peace. Because I wanted my last memory of you guys to be happy. I just wanted you to be happy. And I knew that if you were gone, then you'd be happy in heaven. And that I was okay being an orphan if that's what it took for you guys to be happy. And I think I didn't understand why so much. Like, I didn't understand why I couldn't get it together. And I think I find myself sometimes in the same boat. And I understand now why it was so hard. And that even though little me would have said, you know, you're doing a terrible job, big me knows that you were doing a really, really good job. And that I didn't see, like, you know, all the times that you and Tony and Tom would go pray. I was too little. I didn't know. So I never experienced like the things you guys were fighting, and now I look, little me would think, like, you know, just get it together. And now I see that you and Mom were fighting so many things unseen to give us kids a good life. And I never want to take that for granted. And you guys broke so many generational things that could have easily just slipped by, but it was like you were holding back the floodgates of hell. And taking a lot of arrows in the back for it. And so little me doesn't know what she's talking about. At the time, though, I was so angry and hurt and confused, and that's why I wouldn't go back.
Oh, I love you so much, baby. I'll go through another 20 years of war for you.
You might have to.
And this is where it began.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things you've talked about is how like the image of your dad praying is imprinted in your brain, like in the middle of the chaos.
She's talking about when she scared me, hid under the bed when I went to pray.
What did you do?
That's one of my favorite stories. So I always knew Dad would kneel down to pray because he was just the faithful man that loved to pray. So I knew that if I wanted to scare him, which in our house, scaring each other was like a way of saying I love you. So we would always scare each other, and he could always get me so good. But then in my tiny little brain, I came up with a brilliant idea that once he put me to bed, I would sneak out of my room, I would go under his bed and wait there because I knew faithful Dad is gonna kneel down here and pray, and his knees are gonna be right there. And so I laid under that bed, I don't know how long. I was dedicated, I was gonna get him. And sure enough, he came, knelt down, and I grabbed his knees, and he met Jesus in a whole nother way.
I went into a new spiritual realm. I mean, all my hair stood it in. God's becoming real.
A little too real.
So that's the impression time about it. Oh. Yeah, we did a lot of scaring, but that one took the cake.
That was the cake. Yeah. But no, like the whole childhood, like I just remember just it being so normal to like walk through the kitchen and Dad would be praying, or we'd be having supper and like all of a sudden, okay, I gotta go pray, and he'd be off from our kitchen table, off to the room and pray, and it was just so normal. And I think looking back, like how much we moved from house to house, it's like when people ask me where I grew up, where I'm from, or like my childhood home, I'm always like, I don't know, because we moved so much. But as a kid, I remember home always feeling so familiar. Like no matter what house we were in, it always felt like home. And I think I started to realize that it was that consistent prayer, that it was always every house we'd go to, no matter what house we were in, I would be able to hear you praying. And it was like that consistent My bedroom windows were never the same. My bedroom was never the same. Our kitchen was never the same. But hearing you pray, that was home. That was what made it a home. And so sometimes like when people say where you grew up, like, I grew up with my dad praying. That's what I know, and that is home to me.
Hey, you made it. This is where we're at. These are your words. Okay.
Oh, I love them, Joanna. Thank you.
You're welcome. The line where you say, like, sometimes even on the kitchen floor, like that one just gets me because I know that's true.
Yeah.
And for so many people, that's not a reality for them.
Right.
And that would be only a dream.
Yeah, and you were there for a lot of the tough times. I'm
Yeah.
sure you remember some of the tough times. And the fact that when things got tough, like, you remember a lot of those moments. And so to have you be a part of the project when you actually know what those lyrics mean, that means even more to me. And you're my sister-in-law.
Yeah.
So that's really extra special.
Yeah.
Well, you want to show it or what? Should we do it?
I'm ready.
You want to do it?
Yeah. I wanted to let them hear it for a long time, so I'm ready.
And it's happening.
Let's go.
We're going to do it.
Okay. Boy, hurry it up, come on. My nerves are
Are
just,
you nervous?
I'm nervous.
Why are you nervous?
This is the part I'm nervous
Why are
with.
you nervous?
Because it matters. This is the part that matters. This is like all of the things you talk about and all the feelings behind it tied up in a little bow, and now I'm giving it to them. So hurry it up.
The best thing about my dad is how he prays. He talks to you like you're a whisper away. And little me always knew where to find him. On his knees, sometimes in the middle of our kitchen. Somehow he found the somehow to let your presence flood our home. When things got tough, he led us to your throne. In the middle of the dark, I could hear him pour his heart out to you. Let them find you. Let them find you. Now here I am in a house of my own, drinking tea, paying bills like I'm all grown. But these walls just feel like a house until I hit my knees and find you for myself. So now, will you show me how to let your presence flood this home? When things get tough, I'm running to your throne. In the best thing about my dad is how he prays. He talks to you like you're a whisper away. And little me always knew where to find him. On his knees, sometimes in the middle of our kitchen. Somehow he found the somehow to let your presence flood our home. When things got tough, he led us to your throne. In the middle of the dark, I could hear him pour his heart out to you. Let them find you. Let them find you. Now here I am in a house of my own, drinking tea, paying bills like I'm all grown. But these walls just feel like a house until I hit my knees and find you for myself. So now, will you show me how to let your presence flood this home? When things get tough, I'm running to your throne. In the middle of the dark, hear me pour my heart out to you. Praying, Lord, keep my babies in your hands. Love them like only a father can. Let them find you. Let them find you. Good God, life is hard, but it's harder without you. And just because I'm strong, don't mean I'm bulletproof. And God, when I try to bandage my own wounds, will you still my anxious heart and walk into this room and let your presence flood my home? Things get tough, just wrap me in your arms. In the quiet of my heart, I can hear your voice crash over me. Child, sometimes you won't understand. Just remember, I got the whole world in my hand. Find you. I'll find you. Find you.
That's just too good.
Right there, that's the fruit of your labor. That's awesome. That's awesome. Wow.
You like it?
No, I like is a word that's invented for something else. I feel it.
Yeah.
Feel it.